So, I waited a couple days before making this video because I wanted to kind of give myself time to cool down and to get through the whole emotional thing that came with the anniversary of 9/11. And sorry, I'm fiddling with my necklace. It's all tangled up and it's driving me crazy. But anyway, I wanted to give myself some time to get my thoughts straight and not be all in my emotions about what has gone down lately. And you all know I'm talking about the assassination of Charlie Kirk. It really upset me when I heard about it the other day because I've been following Charlie Kirk for quite some time. I always enjoyed his debates because he gave an open platform to anybody, regardless of their sexual orientation, their skin color, their gender, whatever, their political ideologies. He gave an open platform to people of all walks of life to have open discussion about whatever, whether it was politics or stuff about racism, the transgender stuff, all that, all the stuff that's always floating around in the world, and when I heard about his assassination the other day, I'm gonna admit, I didn't know him personally, but like I said, I've been following him for quite some time, and I'm going to admit, I was all up in my feelings. It upset me, because I know that, he was married, and he had 2 little ones at home, so, me being a mom, I got all up in my feelings, I got upset about it, as anybody would, whether you agreed with him or not, what happened to him was disgusting. It was wrong. And I have been on social media more than I usually am since it happened, because I've been keeping up with, everything that's going on still with, them trying to, the authorities trying to find the shooter, and it really affected me, though, his death, and I'm going to tell you why it affected me so much. One, he was a family man. He was a father, a devoted husband. He adored his wife and children, and they adored him. And he was a God-fearing man. He practiced what he preached. He wasn't just out there spewing, stuff. He was actually putting into practice everything that he talked about. Being a good person, and following God, and he was a man of his word. He was the kind of person that if my parents were still alive, they would have loved him, because my dad's whole thing, when I was growing up, my dad always told me and my sisters that a person is only as good as their word, and he would tell the guys, my dad was a truck driver, so he worked with all guys, and he would tell other truck drivers that a man was only as good as his word, and that if you're going to say something, you're going to stick to that, and Charlie Kirk was one of them men, that actually, what he said, he actually did, he was a man of follow through. He, like my dad, he was a devoted family man, and it broke my heart that somebody could take him out just because they didn't agree with him. Because this country was built on different ideas. And it's sad that we have fallen so far that, like, if you don't agree with somebody, you, instead of having conversation, like, okay, I was raised growing up that if you didn't agree with somebody, you didn't resort to violence. You talked, you spoke to the person, you held a dialogue with them, and you acted like adults. Even when I was a kid, like, my parents were like, don't resort to violence. I'm not going to say that my parents raised me and my sisters to not, like, defend ourselves if someone came at us, but my parents were always like, don't resort to violence, this country was built on different ideas, and it's sad to see how far we have fallen. And it's everyone's like, oh, it's not a red or blue thing, it's not a left or right. No, it is. It most certainly is. Because I'm noticing that the left, who preaches tolerance and they're anti-gun, but all the shootings that are taking place at the hands of liberals. And that's sad. It's sad that they are so hypocritical. They are always preaching about taking guns away from people because guns are dangerous. And yet they're the first ones to pick up a gun and shoot somebody when they don't agree with them. Like last year, they shot Trump, okay? And then they tried to assassinate him again. And boy, weren't they pissed, when that failed. Both times. But they're hypocrites because when the first failed assassination of Trump, when he got shot in the ear, they were all over social media being like, oh, the time for hatred needs to end and we all need to pray for Trump. But like, their rhetoric goes right back to how Trump is Hitler and how his supporters are all Nazis. And I find it funny that with this whole Charlie Kirk thing now, I've been scrolling through X, formerly known as Twitter, we all know, and the liberals, such as Obama, are all like, oh, I don't know where all this hate is coming from. There's no room for it in this country. There's no room for violence. And what a hypocrite. He's the one that started it. He's like, oh, I don't know where it came from. He started it. This country was never so divided until he took office. He took office and he started all of this. He started the divide between black people and white people and gay people and straight people. And it all started with him. And now he's all like, oh, there's no room for that in this country. And I don't know where it's all coming from. It started with him. It started with him. He was the one who started all this. And it hasn't ended. It's ridiculous because, like, so we went through 8 years of Obama, and you didn't see any of us conservatives threatening him. We didn't like him. We didn't like his policies. We didn't like his wife. Yeah, we make fun of his wife a lot, okay? I will admit that, but we never threaten. We never threaten him. We never threaten his wife. We never threaten his children, okay? And then we had Trump for 4 years. And then after that, we were cheated out of another 4 years of Trump because they installed Biden into office. They installed a man with dementia into the White House. And as much as I didn't like creepy Sleepy Joe, as much as anybody didn't like him, no one ever threatened him. Nobody ever threatened him. No one ever took shots at him. And we went through 4 years of his fucked up policies. He was like the man never even knew where he was, who he was, what he was doing, like, nothing. Yes, we all made, we made jokes about him. And there were other things, but there were never any death threats. No one ever took shots at him or anybody on his side. Ever. And that's all us conservatives are seeing now, is people on our side are being shot at, killed, threatened. We're called Nazis. Trump is called Hitler all the time. It's nothing but divisiveness in this country now. And what did they think was going to happen when they sit there and they tell everybody they're spewing them in mainstream media? Oh my God, mainstream media is just as bad. Because they're always doing the same thing. Trump is a dictator. Trump is Hitler. His followers are Nazis, and they're just like the brown shirts and blah blah blah. No, if I had to say anything, it would be that the liberals are more of the dictator mindset, and their followers are Nazis. They're the ones who are all about cancel culture, burning books, shooting people who don't agree with them, trying to do away with their opposition, by any means necessary. And they sit there and they talk about Trump and his supporters. Well, what did they think was going to happen when they have spent years now? It's been like 16 years because it started in 2016. So it's been 8 years. Okay, 8 years. 8 years of 9 years. 9 years of Trump and his supporters being called Nazis and Hitler and fascists and white supremacists and dictatorships, and all the words. We've been called all kinds of nasty stuff. We've been called transphobic, we've been called homophobic, we've been called bigots and maggots, and we've been called all kinds of horrible names. And then they think that people aren't going to pick up a gun and take shots at us. All this violence, and I agree with whoever it was that said that this was a political assassination. I agree. Charlie Kirk's murder was exactly that. It was a political assassination. And it makes me sick that there are people, liberals. You go on no matter what form of social media you go on now, whether it's TikTok, which I think should be banned, by the way, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, they all have liberals on there making videos, making jokes and laughing and making hateful comments about Charlie Kirk's death. And it's wrong. Like, where is human empathy? What happened to people? What happened to human emotions? What is wrong with people? Like, that's what I want to know, is what is wrong with people? People are making jokes about a man dying. A man died. He was shot and killed. He was assassinated. And people think it's funny. All because they didn't agree with what he had to say. Well, that's when you, like, have a conversation, open up dialogue. You don't pull out a goddamn gun and kill somebody. And I was like, oh, well, you know, where was your outrage when, you know, this happened, that happened? I've been outraged about a lot of shit lately. I've just been keeping my mouth shut because, well, one, I don't have time to make videos, really, because I work. And that's another reason why I don't, like, okay, so I saw this video on TikTok. A woman was like, oh, a few people on the right are so outraged with things. Why are you not, like, protesting? Why are you not being loud and making... First off, bitch, us conservatives, we have a little thing called a job that we have to go to every day. We don't have time to be protesting, as you guys call it. I know that you guys aren't really protesting. You guys are, your idea of protesting is looting and rioting and burning down businesses and killing people. That's your idea of protesting. That's not a protest. That's illegal. Us conservatives are not like you liberals. If we don't agree with something, we have verbal discourse. And if we don't agree with something, we go and vote. We bring it to the ballot box. We don't tear up cities. We don't kill innocent people. We don't burn down businesses. We take it up at election time. We bring it to the ballot box. That is how us conservatives deal with things that we don't like. And it's just, I don't know. Like, this world is a scary place. It has gone so far downhill. I just, it makes me sad. It makes me sick. Like I said, I'm not a liberal. I'm conservative. I was raised that way. My parents were conservative. And my parents raised me and my sisters to be better than the liberals, you know? My parents, like, always taught us that, like, if you want to change something, do it the right way, you know? And maybe it's a generational thing, I don't know. because I have met some liberals that are older than me, much older than me, and they're just as crazy as the younger generation of liberals. But I just don't know when it became okay to kill someone because of their views. When did that happen? When did we become a country where people aren't allowed to be different? When did it become a crime to express a difference in opinion, a difference in view? This man, Charlie Kirk, loved his country. He loved his family. He loved God. And he was shot down for it. He was murdered in cold blood. That's not okay. And what pisses me off more is the authorities that say that they can't find this guy. I'm going to say this right now, and a lot of people are going to get pissed about it, but I don't care. Because to me, it's the truth. If it was a liberal that had been killed, they would have found the shooter, and they would have made this big deal about gun control, like they always do. But they would have found the shooter by now. And they would have been like, oh, it's somebody on the right side of the aisle that did it, and blah, 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 blah. And that's all we would have heard. We would have heard it for months about how it was some crazy person that had, like, a membership to the NRA. But this person that shot Charlie Kirk and killed him in front of a school full of college-age young adults. Like, yeah, it was an outdoor event, but it was still in front of a school full of not children, but, young adults, young college-age adults, But there were children there because his 2 children and his wife were there. And they witnessed his assassination. That's another thing I want to bring up. All these people that are laughing about his death, making jokes, saying cruel things. Think about this for a second. Okay? As a human being, I want you to think about this. How would you feel if you were his wife and you were there with your 2 little children, ages 1 and 3, and you witnessed your husband being shot and killed right in front of you? How would you feel? And then having to pick up social media, pick up your phone and jump on social media, and having to see all these videos of these people who are so heartless and so cruel, making jokes about it and saying cruel things about it. Think about that for a second. And then I've heard people, oh, well, not all liberals are, it's not all liberals. It's just a fringe minority of them. No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. No. A fringe means, maybe, a small percentage, A fringe minority would be like, maybe, I would say about like, maybe 20 people, maybe 30. But I saw a video on TikTok talking about, like, how they're glad that Charlie Kirk was dead and blah, 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 blah. It had 37,000 likes. That's not a fringe minority. What gives me hope right now is the fact that I have also seen videos of people who are renouncing their membership, I guess you could say, to the Democratic Party. People who are now going to be former voters for the Democratic Party. There are people actually like saying the same thing I'm saying, that it's cruel and it's disgusting, and that the Democratic Party should be ashamed of itself. That gives me hope. Right there. Because if there's some people willing to sit there and turn their backs on the Democratic Party because they don't like the behavior that they're seeing, that gives me hope right there. It is a sad day in this country, or even the world, when people laugh about someone dying. I may not like Joe Biden, but if he or somebody in his administration had been shot, or even had shots fired at them, I would have been disgusted. Because again, that's not how you handle shit that you don't like. I may not like Kamala Harris, but I would never, ever, ever find it funny if someone took shots at her. I would never say something cruel if she was shot. I would be saying the same thing I'm saying right now. It's disgusting and it needs to stop. That's what I would be saying. I don't know when it became okay. To kill somebody for using their First Amendment right. This is supposed to be a free country. And loony Democrats, because they've been hearing for so many years how bad us conservative Republicans are, they're now trying to kill us. And that's just not okay. That's not acceptable. It's unacceptable. Violence on either side is unacceptable. But I will say you don't see much violence coming from the right side of the aisle. Because we have better things to do with our time. We work. We have families. You know? We don't do shit like that. We know that violence don't solve anything. That's why you don't see us doing that shit. And trust me, there's been a lot of shit I didn't agree with under Obama and Biden. I won't even go into all that. And you know, like, the whole thing with, like, we are so different. Conservatives are different from the liberal leftists because, like, Joe Biden, when he was in office, I'm going to use this as an example. A lot of us conservatives kind of felt bad for Joe Biden because we knew that poor bastard didn't know who he was, where he was, what he was doing. We knew he had dementia. And yet, the Democratic Party had him running the country. He had no idea what he was doing. And yes, people may have made jokes about it. But I know me, I worked in dementia care. So I felt bad for the dude. Like, I may not have liked him, but I felt bad for him. And I thought it was cruel what they were doing to him. That's where we're different. I have empathy, and people on the left don't. Whether you agree with someone or not, it's not okay. It's not okay to be acting the way that you all are acting right now. It's not okay. It's disgusting. And a lot of you right now, you may not realize it. I've been seeing a lot of videos and a lot of posts. People are screen grabbing all of you liberals who are making jokes about this and making nasty comments. Your shit is being screen grabbed, downloaded, and turned into your employers. A lot of you are going to start losing jobs. And I really hope to God that your holier than thou attitude was worth it. Was worth losing your careers. Because we're not playing around anymore. We're really not. Us people in the conservative Republican arena, on the right side of the aisle, there's a reason why we're on the right. We're not like you all, and we're not playing anymore. We're done turning the other cheek. We're done trying to let you guys just roll off our backs. Making a joke about a young father being murdered because you didn't agree with him. That was the straw that broke the camel's back right there. And I pray you guys one day have a change of heart. I pray one day you guys realize how wrong you are. Because I really hate for there to be a civil war, another civil war in this country. It seems like that's where the liberal Democrats are trying to push this country to. Just remember, y'all, violence begets violence. And it doesn't solve anything. It really don't. It just causes more casualties. It doesn't give solutions. And I would like to send my condolences to Charlie Kirk's family, to his wife Erica, and their 2 young children. I would like to send my condolences to his friends, his co-workers, his extended family members. I can't even imagine what you're going through right now. But my thoughts and prayers are with you all. God bless you all. And may Charlie's memory be a blessing to not only you, but to this entire country. God bless you all, and God bless America.